Hey everybody, welcome back. Part 3 of vlog number 7. And we left off last week, or last episode last week was 5 minutes ago for us. We left off the last episode. We were at Sea Rim State Park near Port Arthur, Texas. A beautiful state park on the beach. Had a nice spot when we first got in there. Right, we got in there, parked in a spot. It was okay. It was sort of, they have this sort of herringbone approach to parking in a loop, and the spots are pretty far apart, but you're 100 feet, 200 feet from the beach, probably. Sea breeze coming off. But we decided after the first night that we wanted something a little closer to the water. So the first night, John gets up to go to the bathroom, and we're using the facilities there as opposed to using them in our truck, so we take advantage of other facilities when we can. And all I had on was a pair of Crocs shoes because it was warm at the time. It was not.
Were you wearing underwear and a t-shirt?
I think I was underwear and a t-shirt because that's how I roll.
Not just Crocs.
No, yeah. So I wasn't naked that night. I come out of the steps and I walk around the back of the rig, and I feel this tickling on my legs, and I know, it's at night, and I'm like, what? And I'm not thinking too much about it, and then I get to the bathroom, I come back, and I have my flashlight on now, so I don't trip over the curb as you're going into the parking spot, and I notice that there's a mass of mosquitoes around my legs. So I get in the truck, and I'm like, wow, that's weird. We didn't see them the whole time we were there during the daylight hours. So then, we kind of dismissed it, and we said the next day we saw a nice spot open up closer to the water. And I thought, because we were more closer to the swamp on the other side, that we're going to actually get away from them. Well, we moved the truck and the trailer, opened up the kitchen, we started cooking out of it, got the bicycles off and everything, start cooking out of it that night.
What a mess.
What a mass of mosquitoes. I have never ever seen so many mosquitoes. And some lady made a remark that, oh, but they're all males and they don't bite. Well, I don't know. There must have been a zillion females though, because whenever they were sitting, they were biting. And the problem is that they were so aggressive about coming into the camper.
Oh God, it was horrible. Oh.
And the wind would be just right. There'd be a little eddy in the back of the turtle where the kitchen was, and they would all come around in the back and hang out there. Even if you walked away for an hour and you would come back to thinking you're going to sneak back there and close it up, they'd still be hanging around out there.
I mean, never in New England
never
have we dealt with mosquitoes like that.
You don't.
Ever.
No, you
Ever.
Don't know swarms of mosquitoes. No, not
I've
even a clue.
never seen that.
No,
never.
No. And then so we get up the next day, and we sleep in 2 different spots for various reasons. And I look out the window, the little window, and there's like 1,000 of them just looking in at me going, hey man, want to party?
Plus it was drizzly and misty out that day.
Nasty.
So at that point we're like, we're out.
We're out of here. So was
leaving.
It that day or the next day?
No, it was that day.
So that day we had enough, and it was gorgeous. And the lady was very nice. Again, our first state park in Texas experience. Lady was super, super nice, very accommodating. I could go on for half an hour just about.
Can't say enough about them. They will tell you anything you need to know.
Yep.
If you're ever going into a state park or any kind of a situation like that, always talk to the rangers.
Yep.
Because they are your source of information.
For everything. Local, what's going on
everything.
downtown, where the farmers markets are, good places to eat, etc. All right, so then we bolt out of Sea Rim, and our next place was going to be a place called Brazos Bend State Park near Damon, Texas. And we threw a little curveball in there because I wanted to go to the Johnson Space Center on the way in Houston, as it's been kind of my dream forever to see the Saturn V rocket, and without getting stupid weepy about it, it was just really on my serious bucket list. I never thought I'd ever get to actually see it. So we got up early, we got on the road. I don't remember too much about
I mean, we weren't really that early. We didn't get to the Space Center till 1 o'clock.
Oh,
1 o'clock.
oh,
So then we spent from 1 to what, maybe about 4
yeah,
in the Space Center.
yep. Which I have to say, the stuff that's in the Space Center is awesome. The control room that they've replicated. You get to see the research center. You get to go to Rocket Park, see the Saturn V. But there's the way they do the tram. It's just like slam bam, thank you, ma'am. I mean, you go to the Rocket Park. There's a Saturn V. There's a little Joe sticking up in the front, and then there's a Redstone sticking up front. Probably only 2 of those left in the world. They don't even take you over there. They just rush into the building. They rush in. So, yeah, figure this out. Everybody knows what a Saturn V rocket is. It's the tallest rocket in the world that's ever been built, just about, I think. And it's laying on its side. So it's in this huge building. They drop you off at one end and they say, you got 10 minutes. We'll pick you up at the other end. Like, and then they take you back, and you're going into basically the rest of it is sort of like Kiddie Land, back at the main entrance.
You could have had 6 hours there.
I could have easily just spent an hour and a half in there and an hour and a half in the research, without all of the. It seemed like we spent more time on the tram than we did in any of the exhibits, but the exhibits themselves were really, really, really super. Had a bit of a problem getting into the parking lot with the navigation system, but that was interesting. So
Right.
we figured all that out, though. So we left there, and then
Got a quick bite to eat.
got a quick
and
bite
then
to
headed
eat.
to Brazos Bend.
Yeah, we got a quick bite to eat in the parking lot because we've been eating in the rig quite a bit. We have a fridge and a freezer. We didn't. Oh no, wait. Did we eat downtown from there?
Yeah, we had lunch in the rig before
Oh,
the
yeah.
Space Center. Then we stopped at Four Guys Burgers or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, so we did have a burger for dinner on our way to Brazos, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we're on our way to Brazos. We get to Brazos Bend, called them up in advance. You bet.
Yeah, they're very good about that. You
Yeah.
call them if you don't have a reservation, and
Yeah.
you can go online and make reservations at all these parks.
Yeah,
But for some reason, I don't like to do that. I'd rather talk to somebody. And if you call the day that you're going there, they will hold a spot for you.
yeah,
And then you can always hold more days once you get in there.
yeah.
So they knew that we were getting there late. It's the first time we've gotten to a park late. It was dark. I don't think we got there till about 8 o'clock that night. So that's always a kind
Well,
of tricky thing.
It's a bone of contention with
Contention.
my wife.
Yes, I don't like to drive it when it's dark out. I don't like to be a passenger or be the driver while it's dark out.
She's never been the driver yet.
No, I
in the-
haven't.
in the rig.
Not in the rig. That'll be coming at some point. Baby steps here.
So, and driving up into Brazos Bend,
Right, that was a great
right
little.
right off the bat, 13 deer.
And an owl
And an
swoops
owl.
down, picks up a mouse on the road,
Yep.
takes off.
That's before we even got to park the thing.
Yeah.
So then we parked. We actually got into a part of the park that didn't have a lot of people in it, and they had firewood you could buy, and there was showers. Was there showers?
Yeah.
There were showers, and
Big park.
big park, biggest one we've been in so far,
So far, I think it's our favorite.
and our favorite, and the only one so far, including the one we're at right now, the only one that would be on our got to come back and check it out again list. And I'm going to post some pictures up here, but I took a lot of photographs there, but the wildlife was it was
Yeah.
unbelievable. There
Lots
was
of, alligators, the birds, amazing.
Yeah,
so
birds,
many birds that
ducks.
we've never even seen. We're
Right.
like,
right, yeah,
yeah.
and
I know the cardinal. Whoa.
yeah, and not
Robins.
just that, but we got to take part in 2 workshops. One was a venomous snake workshop, which was interesting, and then the other was just an observation workshop where a guy set up a spotting scope on one of the lakes that are inside the park, and you got to see all kinds of different birds. I mean, your head was just on a swivel. It's just like there's something over there, and there's something over there, and there's an egret, and there's a heron, and there's this, and there's that.
Lots of ducks,
Lots
of birds.
Yep.
That whole bit.
So we had a really great time with that. And every night, if you just decided to go for a walk at night, you'd hear deer all over the place, and you'd shine your flashlight, and two would go walking by whatever.
And the coyotes.
Yeah. But one of the things we want you guys to kind of take a look at when we show you these pictures is at some point during the park, it was just boggling. I don't know, we're from Massachusetts, so there's a place called the Quabbin where when my wife and I were rebellious, we got into Prescott Peninsula when we weren't supposed to, but you could see where the deer would browse in the woods, and if you'd looked into the distance, it would be clear from the bottom, from the forest floor up to however far they could reach, and it would leave this line you could see as you stood back and looked. And I sort of saw the same line when we were walking one day, and I said, look, honey, they have the same browsing problem. And then when we looked harder, it wasn't thanks buddy, a browse line. It was a stain where this place had flooded in October. And a lot of places, if not all the places that we walked, it was over our heads.
Yes.
So you'll see that in the pictures. If you look close in the pictures, you'll see that staining, and how much water
right.
in not, in October this year. So it was just crazy
The park
to see
was probably at least 10 feet underwater, the entire park.
that. Yeah.
I mean, the buildings, a lot of their cabins, they're replacing right now because they had 8 feet of water in them.
Yep.
And it was there for a couple
Yep.
weeks.
All the
It's
electrics,
amazing.
a lot of the electric boxes, if not all of them,
But
had to
what,
be replaced.
5 months, not even 5 months later, and they're
Yeah.
back open. They have
Yep.
some trails that are definitely
Yep.
still down
Yep.
because of a lot of debris.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how quickly they get back up
Yep.
and running. I mean, yeah, when you see the water line,
Yep.
that was just amazing to see.
And the other highlight I think we want to hit on before we close for this part was the amount of vultures we saw. The vultures, you'd walk where we were, we saw them, but if you walked like not even a quarter of a mile down this park road towards where their nature center is, and it's really wide open, and there's all these grand oaks around the outside, there would be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of vultures.
Not thousands, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, if not thousands.
If not thousands, absolutely. Just flying just all over the place. And with, I don't know if it was just like, I don't know, maybe they were having a giant family reunion, or I don't know, but there
Turkey
were
vultures and black vultures.
there were
which
two
we've never
types.
seen black vultures.
We've never seen black vultures. I actually took a picture of a few today. But so even from the day that we left, we saw them there, and we haven't really seen them before or since like that. So that was a really interesting part. One last thing is the weather. The weather took a turn for the worse towards the end in our last few days there. It got cold. It got into the 20s. We had to disconnect
Sleet,
and
freezing
winterize
rain.
the trailer, the truck. The Rangers came around and put all the faucets to drip so that they wouldn't freeze. They had to close down a bathroom, and in the 20s. And then it snowed and sleet and freezing rained. And
Up in
yeah,
Houston and Austin. I mean, we
yeah.
were right on the
we're
edge
lucky.
of it,
Yeah,
but it was 22 degrees
yeah.
for 24, 36 hours. So,
Yeah, that took care of that. And then even at the very end, when we went to leave and it was supposed to warm up and the roads were clear, I couldn't get the bicycle rack back onto the turtle because I couldn't make one of the mechanisms on the lock work because it was frozen solid. So I had to get out the grill, light the grill, and kind of heat it up so I could get the thing thawed out enough to make it work to get the bikes on and locked down. So that was interesting. But we got it done and we got it here and things worked fine. But we're going to wrap up here on this at Brazos Bend. And our next vlog, which will be vlog number 8, we'll talk about our next adventure, which is Brazos State Park in good old Smithville, Texas.
yep.
So we'll see you next time. on vlog number 8.